Hello, welcome to this edition, and we're going to be looking at how we can perfect our login process. To do that, I have lesson 9 notes here, so you can go through it just to have an idea of things that we need to implement. So, when you look at what we have, we're going to be looking at how we can first create the backend login view because we haven't done that. So once we're done creating the backend login view, another thing we need to do is to test the APIs. Now, usually we use Postman, so we'll try it out. So when we're done with that, we will then go to our front end and implement our login process. That's pretty much how this would pan out. Okay, so first thing first, we need to go to the source code. So I have source code open right here in Cursor. Let's navigate to the backend option. I have the same document right here. So like I said, the first thing we need to do is to create the backend view. So all we need to do is, I already have the prompt. You can just copy this up to this. We can copy up to this. Then we go to, I think we should go to one of the URL, the view. So we only have the sign up view. So what we just ask you to do is to create similar one for the login. So I'm going to create a new chat and paste the whole of that prompt. And I will say implement the login view. So hopefully the AI is able to give us what we need here. While we wait for it to create the view, it's going to go just check what we have. So it's going through the sign up. It's trying to see the sign up. So after looking at the sign up, I believe it should then proceed to create the actual view that we want. Okay, so right now it's generating the login view. Okay, the login view has been added. We'll just accept. So I expect it to create the URL that was created as well. So I think it's done. Access token. All right then. So this is good. If we check the URL, yes, we should have this. Now that we have the login, so what we can do is even check what's next on the notes. So the AI just helped us implement the first segment, which is creating the API view. The next is testing that the view works. So there are a couple of things that I want you to pay attention to here. You can see that I said you need to activate your environment, all right? And this is the function to activate the environment on Windows. You can, search on the internet, the option to activate on Mac, regardless of it all depends on the operating system that you use. Next is start your Django server. Ensure that your server is running. I am currently running my server Here, I'm running the front end here, I'm running the back end here. You can choose to run it in the code editor, whatever works for you. So then the next thing is to then try to test the API view itself. So let's go to Postman. Remember that we created Postman. I think it's time that it's the right time to rename this to sign up. Then we can also duplicate this. Can duplicate that and call this one login. So remember, we need to change the path as well and just come here. So we can use either the username or email, but let's just go with email, then with one password. Okay, so this is what we're going to be sending to the database, and hopefully this should work. Yeah, so both email or username and password are required. So both email, no, I don't think we should use this field. Now let's go and check what's going on. So the AI did something that we should override. So it's looking for a special field. I think can just call this one email rather than either email or yes. I think this should work. Yeah, that should work. Now if we come back here and try to log in, I think we should be good. And that's it. We have the right login access. So here I am going to just delete this one, and we're going to try to save another success. All right. Okay, so now that we are sure that our API is working, the next thing we need to do is try to see what's next on the task, the next thing that we can do. So we just finished testing and we can see that the API works. The next is to then include that login into the app itself. So now, one thing we need to refactor in our front-end app, if we navigate to the front end, let's say our login component. So we need to refactor the handle submit function, which we have here. So the handle submit function should send the data, the login, email, password to the backend, not NextAuth. All right, so that's the approach we're going to use. And what I have here is I have a function for you here that we can use. So let's just copy this function that has all the settings that we have or that we need. So I'm just going to paste that. There may be a couple of things that we need to add. We need to import OpenToast from Instinct-Hub API, set status. Okay. I think we may need to even remove this errors. Yes. We may need to remove these errors and just something like that. Then we can also remove this one too. Just to keep things simple. at this stage. So we need to import this L. Yeah, so I think the response that we're expecting, login response that we're expecting, should be something like this. That's what we're expecting. So we can just declare the interface here, and we just come here and have something like that. So this is what we're expecting from the backend. The next thing is to sign in. Do we even have this sign in imported? Yes, I think we do. But first and foremost, let's even disable that. Oh, let me see what I have here. If this is okay, if right, let me see what I have here. If this is okay, access token. I don't think we need all of this. Perhaps what we need here is if this is dot username. Yes, if we have this and maybe access token, then we know that we got the right data from the backend. Then we can just go ahead and say, or we can just, let's disable that and see. So what we have, okay, so let me see. Then we need to just disable all of this. So now we can just go ahead and say something like this. We can say open toast, just open toast, something like that. Username, just to be sure that we are logged in. Right. I don't really think we need this because it's the same thing as this. So we can just go ahead and try to log in and see if this is going to make sense. So I will just open localhost, then auth. This time around, I need login. So if we have the login like that, what is expected is at least when we log in, we should have a message printed saying something like welcome, welcome username. And I think it's to be okay, we use the same detail that we have. We can use the same detail that we have here. So we can use the test user, yes, test user 3. No, we are using the email, test example 3. Then the password is going to be this, your password. Okay, so now let's copy our credentials. This is the password. This is the username. And let's try to log in. If everything works fine, we should get a message. Can you see? Welcome back. Test user 3 logged in. I think this is a very strong signal. But if we still check our localhost API session, we don't still have the user session, which is understandable. So now what we need to do is to enable this trigger so that we can then send the call to the backend. And what we need to do is I can just change this to data, this as well to data. Now let's take a look at what is happening. We can go ahead and just comment this one. So what is happening is that we're calling the sign in from NextAuth, and we are then sending in the email and user data. Now, so there are two ways to it. Is either we send in just the email alone or the user data, or we convert. So what I usually would do is I can as well just send the email. So this email is going to be the JSON of the entire data object, all of this. So now if you leave it as an object, it won't work. So we are converting it to string. Everything is going to be string. So what we'll do at the back end is also to reconvert it back to JSON. So when this happens, all we need to do is come back to our documentation and see what other thing do we need to do. Our login is successful. So what we need to ensure that we do again is handle that login details in the auth. So now if I go to my auth, let's look at what we have. Now this is what we have. We're sending that credential to this login, and currently we're expecting both password and email address. So I can just remove password because I'm just expecting email. So I'll just do this. So we're going to be validating just the email. Now, I can as well just remove these. Okay, so we don't need this. Remember that the AI tried to enroll us for Prisma, but we don't need it. So what we can do is convert the email back to JSON. So I can just say const user data equals to JSON. This is going to be email. Okay. So now what we can do, this is looking for the type. So we can come back to this our login component and just copy this login response type. We can use it here as well. I can just have it here. Then I would use the type here. Okay. So this, I think we already have this before. So all I need to do is delete this one. So now we have it here. So this is good. I just need to remove all of this. We don't need it. Oh yeah, so we're supposed to return the user ID too from the server. So you can just come here and put user ID. This can be either number or string. What other thing do we need here? We have email. So let's remove all of, let me see. I want to remove all of this. Let's just focus here. So I'm just going to remove all of this. Okay. Now, what we have for the token is called access token, and it's supposed to be access refresh token. So pretty much this is what we are expecting from the database, and once we have all of these, we should be able to log in. Okay, so what is missing here? Authorize is going to be any. I think authorize is expecting. So what's the error message here? Authorize is expecting that we have. So let's say we have password as well. So if I remove this, Okay. So now at this point, so null undefined is not acceptable. Let's just try to read the error message. So you have parameters credential incompatible. So email unknown. No, email is known actually. But what we can do at this point is, of course, we can always leverage on the AI to fix the issue. So let it just fix the bug while we wait for it to do the work. So it's going to try to handle the exception for us. Okay, so now if not credential, all right, type of credential email equals a string. Okay, all right, so I think that error has been handled. Now, if everything worked pretty good, all we need to do here is come back here, try to log in again. And if we try that, our authentication failed. Let's see what happened. Is this updated? Is not updated. So now let's go back and see what the issues were. So one thing we can do is try to even look at the error message that we got. So from here, we're getting app router module. Some things are not right here. Okay, so let's look at the auth again and let's see if we're missing anything. So from here, we are returning username, email, first name, token. So console.log error authentication. Let's even try to find. So we said authentication error. Is there anywhere we have that in this printout? Authentication error. Okay. So now let's try to refresh this. So once we refresh this, let's see if we get yes. So please define secret. Oh, I see. We need to define the secret key. Let me see if we did that in our previous lesson notes. So lesson 8. Lesson 8, we were supposed to do some things. All right. So lesson 8, we're supposed to have all of this. So let's even see if that was included in our project. env. Oh, they were not added. So pretty much that was the issue. So you can just ensure that you have this in your project. This is very important. It's requesting for that. So now let's try to refresh and let's see our terminal. Hopefully we shouldn't get that error anymore. Okay, I think we're good. So let's see if we can now log in. I need our fake user detail. Then this one. Now we'll try to log in. Exactly. Right now, we are successfully logged in. So if you want to really know if we're logged in, you can just come here, refresh, and you see that now we have the session. So the system now understands that we have a logged in session. And pretty much this is how it really works. So this is currently redirecting us to dashboard. We can make it redirect us to the landing page. We're going to be looking at all of those in the next lesson. I hope you're enjoying how this is going. Yes, I know it may be challenging, but the truth is technology doesn't just come just like that. There are a couple of things that goes into it, and I hope that you're learning a lot. If you have any question, please leave a comment, and I'm willing to attend to any of your question. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one.